Greetings and welcome to another episode of the Random University. Today I'm joined by my co-host Elly, and I'm Brian, you know me. And today we're going to be doing a fitness-based episode. I know everyone's so excited for another fitness episode, but this is not going to be your typical, let's talk about exercises, let's talk about diet. I want to get into more of pop culture when it comes to fitness. Now, Elly, before we talk, I want to get into your background when it comes to fitness and what you went to school for, where you graduated from, and what you're doing with it now. And if you want to talk about like any sports you played or anything like that, floor is yours.
So I hate sports and fitness. I'm just kidding. So I actually have a degree in, perfect episode. So I actually have a degree in kinesiology from LSU, go Tigers. 15-0, just saying. Anyways, my concentration was fitness and sports studies. I've worked with football, swimming, football, swimming, baseball, gymnastics, tennis, hockey, rugby. And I used to be a full-time personal trainer. That's exhausting. And I did like Group X and all that stuff. Now it's kind of more like my side hustle thing. Yeah. And I coach track and field. Well, I did before coronavirus. And I have like my performance enhancement specialist certification, which is not like taking PEDs. Obviously, like that's not what that certification is for. Mostly now my mostly consists of like retired athletes. Like I have a lot of retired college athletes that I train, and because they're still looking to get their ass kicked, but they realize like I'm not at that level anymore. I don't necessarily need to be working out at that intensity.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't need to like swim 500 miles every day anymore, and you shouldn't have even been doing that in college. But I hate that old school way of coaching where it's like you have to constantly just pound it out, and it's like, no, there's something to be said about like an active recovery and actual rest days. And I have to get on my clients about that kind of shit all the time because they're so used to the go, pound the grindstone. It's like, no, we're going to take a step back and actually let our body heal and do some functional stuff, which is just as important as those high intensity days. So that's my background. Love it. It's a bit of a grind. I'm hopefully going to go to PA school. We'll see. COVID kind of ruins everything. So
of course.
We'll see what's in the cards.
Why'd you choose kinesiology?
Kai, this is really lame, but as far as like academics go, I didn't want to do the starving artist thing. Like I knew enough to like not want to do that. So as far as academics go, kinesiology, like human anatomy, physiology, exercise phys, those were really the only things that actually interested me academically. It like came pretty easy to me. Mm-hmm. So, between it being, what is that in the background?
Oh, my wife is back there and she was cleaning. She was trying to sneak. Her name's Rachel. She was trying to sneak out.
Hi, Rachel!
She didn't want to be in the shot.
Oh, that's okay. I was like, is that a dog or what's happening?
No,
it was, hi, Rachel!
I didn't want to even address it. I wanted to act like there were ghosts in the background.
Oh, that's fair too. But Rachel seems like a very nice lady for putting up with you.
Of course.
You should have just said it's haunted in here.
Yeah, she said I should have said it was it's haunted here.
So anyways, wait, time out. Where's your hat? You gotta wear the hat.
Oh, I put it, it's in my room. I gotta go all the way there and get it now.
You ruined it. But anyway, so that's my background in sports and fitness studies. And like that's kind of thing too. Like that's the only thing that really interested me academically, and then also kind of like came naturally, I guess, in a way. But it was still challenging because if something's too easy, that's still also boring.
Yeah.
So that's my background.
It's funny. I took kinesiology 1 and 2, being an exercise science major, but I don't know. There's just something about. Not that it was like overly difficult. Like, it's pretty tough, like learning all the anatomical terms and different planes of movement and things like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, I don't know if I want to, like, I can't keep going forward with this. It would kind of drive me nuts because I was, this is the thing. I'm coming from like an ex-athlete perspective with all this. So I'm not looking at, I want to be able to help someone with movement and things like that. Like I want to be able to take, like you were saying, like you work with ex-athletes, and it's like, or if you're working with an athlete where you have someone come to you and they're like, I want you to literally just beat the shit out of me and like get me to the next level, because that's where I enjoyed that kind of action rather than like, all right, you want to lose like 10 pounds, or you're in rehab for something, like you tore your knee up and now you need to build all the muscles back around the knee. It's just slow for me, like in that sense. So I was like, I wanted.
Well, yeah, that's why I didn't go into physical therapy. That's exactly what I said. Like, I don't want to do rehab. Like, fuck your rehab. I mean, it's important. Obviously, it has a place. And, like, I grew up as an athlete. Like, I did rowing, water polo, soccer, swim team, basketball, ran track.
Wait,
like, I did pretty much
water polo.
I did. I did.
I don't think I've ever met a person that played water polo.
Oh, okay. So where I'm from, it's swimming and water polo. Like, they're huge. Like, one of our childhood friends, well, he's my brother's friend, but we all like grew up together. He was on the U.S. men's national team for water polo. I think he still is. But yeah, they like moved him out to like Montenegro. He was in Europe and playing over in Europe, and he's like, fucking huge. And but yeah, so where I'm from, like water polo and swimming, like those are the two like big things. So I did water polo. Since I'm the youngest, I was like, whatever my older brother's doing, I'm gonna do it too, kind of thing. And he did polo, and I had a lot of friends that actually went to college for polo too. Now that I think about it. Yeah.
I had no idea it was such a large sport like that.
Yeah, so it's huge. I think it's kind of more of like a West Coast thing, because the weather's a little bit better here. You can theoretictically do it year round. I'm sure you guys have like indoor pools. Yeah. Right. So it's really big in like Florida and, the West Coast out here, like California, it's huge. And then, Oregon's a huge running state. But that's just kind of like the thing, I guess, in suburbia, because I didn't really know what it was until we moved through the tunnel. But that's like a big thing. But yeah, as an athlete too, I was just like, oh, I love this kind of shit. And it's like, I knew I was not going to be a professional athlete. I was not going to be a college athlete. I had a bad hamstring injury. So it's like also next best thing. I can still be in the athletic world, but not have to get the shit beat out of me constantly. And that's also why I like kinesiology too, is because it's human movement. It's not just like anatomy or exercise phys. It's how the body actually moves, and like neural control, motor systems, and all that kind of fun stuff. Biomechanics, which is really just physics with anatomical terms. So it's kind of a bullshit class. I was like, why don't you just call this class fucking physics? Like, fuck this.
No, I know exactly what you mean. The only way I ever memorized all the terms and different movements was I would categorize them like okay, what movements are in a basketball shot, like a jump shot? Like literally from getting the ball, turning, and then shooting. Like just that whole process, like what is the movement in there? That was the only way I remembered anything. Otherwise, I'm terrible. I have a great memory, but I'm terrible when it's like something I need to know. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll remember a song I heard on the radio on a commercial in 1996.
Right.
I could sit for hours and study book material and then be tested right after and be like, I forgot everything. I know nothing.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of us. It's like, we still know like useless bullshit from like when we were kids. Yeah. It's like, this literally does nothing for me, but I know this. Or like, there's this local Bay Area jewelry company, Shaneco, and like everyone like pretty much has that commercial memorized because it's been on since we were kids, and it's like online at shaneco.com. You can be found in Cupertino, San Jose, and Walnut Creek. Like I could probably, if I heard, I could probably recite the whole thing for you. So. And it's like, this does nothing for me. Like, I don't need to know this, but I know it. Yeah.
It's like if somebody were to ask me, like, who's Batman's biggest villain or anything about any Batman villains, I can rattle off all sorts of information to you. But if you asked me, what's Pythagorean theorem?
First of all, fuck math. So we're just going to...
Hold on.
Fuck
Geometry.
Yep. Fuck geometry specifically. I can do the fuck out of some trig though. Yeah. But fuck geometry. That's such bullshit.
Speaking of fuck things, this is a perfect moment to introduce our brand new segment. Yay! Ellie's rant time. All right, Elly, the floor is yours. Whatever you want to rant about.
Okay, so I'll say timer, please put 2 minutes on the clock. Anyways, so my main thing, especially with this whole fitness thing, so I'm sure we're all aware of the athletic brands like Athleta and Lululemon Athletica. So here's the thing. They don't actually make clothes for women that work out. So like women that work out have shoulders and wide backs and asses and thighs and hamstrings. And every time I go there to like try to find some functional workout clothing, I have to buy like 3 sizes bigger and like a tall. And it's like, who are you marketing to? Like, because, and then you'll see like their ads and it's all these like stick thin ladies. And I'm not trying to like skinny shame or whatever, because women come in all different shapes and sizes. That's fine. But don't say you're an athletic brand, but then your models don't really portray that. And I mean, like now they've kind of gotten onto like they have bigger girls now, which is great. But it's like, again, you're not really designing clothing for women that actually exercise and have muscle. Like, and that leads me to my next thing. Fucking sports bras. Okay, so literally, you know, just like all women come in different shapes and sizes, so do breasts. Okay, that's just what it is. So you have these brands, again, athletic, I'm calling you out, that do like this fucking bullshit with these little like shoestring straps. Okay, you see this shit? What is it supposed to support?
Nothing.
Right. And if you're a larger chested woman like myself, all these little fucking shoestring straps do is just bunch together like right on top of your traps and then like create a little pressure point and then also like kind of hurt your neck after a while. And it's just like, again, can you include all sizes here? Like, can we be a little bit more inclusive? Like it's hard enough trying to like find stuff. And like Athletic did have a good thing going with this bra that I love. And then of course they stopped making it. So it's got like the over the shoulder and also the razor back. But it's just like they stopped making it. It's like you actually had like a really good product here and you fucked it up.
Well, because I mean, it's they don't do it for, like you said, like for people that are actually working out, like women that are actually going to the gym and they're not going there to just do an Instagram shoot. And they're actually going there to work out and they need something that will functionally move with them and be comfortable. And still, everybody wants to look good. You know, so you want to have something that you're proud to wear at the gym. Me, I don't give a shit. Cut off shirts all day. There's no shot I'm buying. I'm not going to a Dick's Sporting Goods and buying a Under Armour $70 sleeveless shirt to work out in.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I don't buy workout t-shirts. You shouldn't know. All my workout t-shirts are like old tanks and my brother's hand-me-down. Like, yeah, no, I don't invest. I will invest in like shorts though, because you know, it makes a difference in how much they're riding up your ass and how many times you're having to pull them down. So like that, yes, I will spend a little bit more money on that kind of stuff. But the athletic brands that target athletic women but aren't actually for athletic women drive me off the fucking wall, and it's bullshit. It's like, don't target this demographic if you're not actually catering to this demographic. That's my rant for the day. So Lululemon and Athleta, you're being officially like called out. And that's fine. If you just want to do the yoga thing, then just say your clothes strictly for yoga and for small-chested women, and that's fine. So don't be like, oh, it's super inclusive and all this kind of stuff and whatnot. And it's like, so, yeah, I'm a little more on the muscular side than your average woman, which is fine as well. But like, there are women that are bigger than me too. So I know if it's a struggle for me, I can't imagine women that are bigger than me or more muscular than me. Like, they must freaking die trying to find stuff. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, but so, I mean, that's all. They're doing it all just to make money. It has nothing to do with actual fitness and helping people and saying like, oh, okay, well, let's make, you know, good functional clothing. That's actually pretty fashionable too. Like, I mean, because I've been in one of those stores one time and just looking at the price of like the leggings and stuff like that, like,
oh, I know.
Who is that for? That's like the same thing as like I was saying, like I'm not going to Dick's to buy $70 Under Armour shirt to work out in. It's just not going to happen. I'm not spending $70. I'm going to go to Target. I wouldn't even say that. I'll take it even a step lower. I'm going to go to Walmart because, hold on, listen. I hate Walmart with a passion. If we're
about to say, like, don't go to Walmart. Don't do Walmart.
No. But this is the thing.
Ross or TJ Maxx.
Walmart is dirt cheap. That's why everybody goes there.
Isn't it? No, but it is. I've gone to Walmart and seen some stuff is more expensive. But I'm telling you, Ross and TJ Maxx and Marshalls, those are the places to go.
Yeah, but you know what the problem is with those? You got to sort through everything.
You have to go at the right time. Like, go in the morning.
I need to know when they restock things because it's like I go there and
usually Tuesdays.
It's on Tuesdays. I'm gonna test.
Usually Tuesdays, and go in the morning. Go early and go on like a Tuesday. Or ask them, hey, when does your truck come? Because it's different it's like sometimes it'll be Sunday or Monday or Tuesday, but it's usually like earlier in the week. But yeah, just ask them like, hey, when does your truck come? And they'll tell you.
I'm not gonna lie, I have found some gems there. It's not often, but it happens.
Yeah.
But I go to Walmart for all my workout gear because listen, $3 pair of shorts all day. I'll spend $30 and I'll get 10 pairs. I don't even give a shit if it's the same color.
Oh, again, but that's what I do at Ross. Like I have like 3 of the same pairs of shorts because it's just like, oh, these are great. I love them, and they're New Balance too. But yeah, I don't understand like, oh, moisture wicking and all this like fancy bullshit. I'm just like, does it ride up my, like how many times am I gonna have to pull it out of my ass? Like how far is it gonna ride up my ass? Like that's really what I care about. Like pants wise, like will it actually stay down?
But this is the thing that brings us into our next point that I wanted to bring up: Instagram fitness. And this is something that I'm sure that you see on a daily basis. I see it all the time. This is one thing that kind of it drives me nuts. Really pisses me off. But I don't understand what the obsession is with, and it's not just girls, it's guys too. Everybody posting like when they're doing a push-up, like, oh, here's me doing push-ups. Here's me on a bench press. Here's me doing a squat. Like, if you were gonna highlight something, right? Like, wouldn't you want to do like, listen, I've fallen casualty to it. The fitness page that I created, I didn't put boring shit on there. I kind of do modified workouts where I do something that's maybe, I don't know, impressive is the wrong word, unique, like where.
Right.
You know, if like I'm doing like a push-up or something like that, and I come up and I kick my feet through and I do kind of like a L, like up on my arms, like that's unique. Right. You know, somebody might look at that
something
and they
different.
might be like, oh wow, that's impressive that person can do that, because I have seen people do crazy shit, and I'm like,
oh, you know,
like those people that do like the bar stars. You ever see those? Like
no, what is
the
that?
guys with the pull-ups, like where they'll walk
up
and they like. Where does that strength come from? It's unbelievable.
Or like flag pulling or some shit like that.
But see, that to me is impressive, and I'm like, okay,
well, right, that's cool.
That's Instagram post worthy. Like if you want to put a video up of you like doing the flag pole thing and then walking all the way up and then coming all the way back down, I'm all for it because I can't do that. But like when you just, and it's funny because I would love to just get some of the videos from people, because why is it always somebody setting the camera down and then walking back to getting in screen and then doing the exercise? You can crop your videos on your phone. You don't even need a program. You can do it in the photo app. You just shorten it a little bit so it doesn't look like you're walking in. Do it to the point where you were set. Basic shit.
Yeah, that's what I do too. Yeah. And again, I follow creator too. Like, I'll film my clients. Like, if I have my clients doing like some crazy workout or some like crazy shit, I will absolutely like record it or film it. Or, like, you know, sometimes if they're doing like leg press, I'll hop on the sled and then we'll throw weights on the sled. It's like, that's like fun. Or I'll do it like sarcastically. I'll make fun of myself while I'm like doing a workout or whatever. Like, there's this one warm up move I used to do that was like a Spider-Man push-up crawl, and it looked ridiculous. And so then I made a post that's like crawling into your DMs, like, or whatever, you know. So it was like kind of funny actually, and like, you know, not like, I don't, obviously not taking it that seriously. But yeah, it's well, there's also, when I was personal training full time, there's this guy who would literally do like the rear delt machine, and then he would like lift up his t-shirt and check his stomach. And I was like, you know, those muscles aren't really like connected, and like not much is going to change between like 5 reps, and but literally every 2 seconds it's like whoop, whoop. And I was like, also, you're super pale, dude. Like, stop. But, or what makes me even more mad are the girls that go to the gym and like, I call it pretend to lift weights. And it's like, you don't have to be the strongest woman in here, but don't come in here and hog a machine and you're just lifting 10 fucking pounds. Go get a fucking dumbbell. Fuck off. Don't have to tie up like the cable machines if you're just going to use 10 or 20 pounds. Like,
and then be on the phone the whole time.
Right. And then be on the phone the whole time and be like, take my picture. No, bitch, get off so I can use the machine and go home. Like, I can't stand that shit. The girls that pretend to lift weights. And it's like, go get a resistance band. Like, what are you doing? Get off.
Have you ever seen people doing like Facebook or Instagram live during their entire workout?
No. Yikes.
That's quite the creature to see.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's I mean, the whole thing with social media, I've always said this about Twitter more than anything, because I mean, Instagram is one thing, Facebook is another, but I feel like it was something that was developed for people to broadcast themselves. Like, we all want to lie to ourselves and say, no, it's about connection and it's about meeting other people.
Bullshit.
No. It's about look at me, look at me, look at me. Because if you truly were just trying to connect with other people and grow and do whatever it is you want to do, you wouldn't post pictures of yourself all the time. And continue, I mean, and this is a whole nother topic, but just neglect reality in a sense. And you're living in this false world where somebody only knows you through a picture or a video. They know nothing else about you. You know, and the more and more you post, the more and more popular you get, the more followers you get. So of course, you're going to have people that are going to, and I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of dudes that do it, but just from my point of view, like seeing it with girls, where you'll have a girl at the gym and she's got little shorts on and a little top and
yes. Oh no, the floor. And it's usually pink. It's usually pink.
Most of
it's always pink.
Yeah. And then
or red.
And then what they do is they do some sort of exercise where it's like, I don't know, a lat pull down. Something that's going to show them off in some way, right? And it's always followed up by the picture of like the racehorse stance. That's what I call it. Where it's like the ass sticking out and the leg kind of like that. Mm-hmm. Like, because, you know, normal people stand like that everywhere they go. And that post to me, it just screams, look at me. And that's it. It's not about helping someone, because anyone can figure out, look, there's instructions. Like if you go to a lat pull down machine, there's a little label and it tells you how to do the exercise. So
or just watch someone do it. Yeah. Although sometimes we've all seen people do actually I take that back, because we've all seen people at the gym like do some crazy shit on the cable machines, and it's like, how are you not dead?
Yeah.
Like how have you not died?
It just, the thing that bothers me with it, like, look, if I came across one of those posts, like where it's a regular ass exercise and like some super hot girl in a little skimpy outfit doing curls, right, with 5-pound dumbbells, whatever. Cool. But if the caption beneath it just said, look at me, I would be 100% fine with that post. But I have a problem when the caption underneath it is like, never give up.
Believe in yourself.
Work harder. Believe in yourself.
You can do it. Just follow my plan that I'm not actually going to tell you, because I don't actually have a plan, because I just started myself. Yeah. Oh, I know. See, like, and like, again, exercises that I've posted, I'll usually like post like a description of, I'm like, oh, so today I did like 3 reps of 10 and then did like 4 reps of this exercise. And I was like, oh, try it and like, let me know like your thoughts. Like, so whenever I do like post fitness related stuff, which has been a while, I try to like make it actually like informative and like hopefully someone gets something out of it. So not just look at me like, I mean, yeah, I've done the same kind of shit too, where I was doing like a side plank row with a weight vest on. I was like kind of proud of myself. And, you know, it's like.
That's fine though. That's a legitimate, like, okay, that's not something that everybody's doing, you know?
Right. And so I was like, try this out. And so then I even did like modifications. I was like, so I posted one video with the weight vest on, then I did another video without it. I was like, start with just the regular side plank and then add in the row and then add in the weight vest as you get stronger and feel more comfortable with doing it. But like, you know, there's so many people, I know the ass out pose, or like my favorite are the in the bathroom selfies. And it's like, toilet, there's nothing sexy about a toilet.
just killed my workout.
Right. Yeah, like you know exactly what I'm talking. Or even like when girls are like dressed up all nice, and it's like there's a toilet, there's a crapper in the back of your photo. So I know your tits are out, but I am distracted and looking to see if there's a shit in that toilet behind you. Like
it's like if you really cared that much to take a good picture, why would you do it in a bathroom?
Right.
It just doesn't make any sense.
But I didn't see the toilet in view.
But see, the thing that bothers me is, and I'm sure that you can agree with this, being a trainer, a lot of times the girls that are posting these things, and even guys are very guilty for this too. The exercise they're doing, the form is just terribly off. Like it's wrong.
Oh yeah.
Everything that they're doing. Anytime I see people doing like behind the head, like shoulder pressing and things like that, it drives me crazy, because it's like, you have this influence on people. You're making these videos, even if they're just regular exercises, and like if you're listing the exercises you're doing the wrong thing. You're misleading people because they think, okay, well, what if I reach out to this person? Because we all have the option to do that. You could DM someone and you could say, hey, what do you eat for your meals? I have it happen to me often where I'll be in the locker room and I'm just getting changed real quick and somebody will be like, hey, I saw you doing this. Like, what muscles does that work? And like, I'll explain it to someone. And I try to shorten it up because I don't want to give them the long form of it, of what it's actually doing and what's the purpose of it and working muscles and non-working, just all the details of it, right? But I feel like if I have that influence on somebody, if they're looking at me, if they're watching me, I have a responsibility to say, okay, I'm going to tell you how to do this the right way. Even when somebody says like, how long have you been working out? How do I get in shape like that? And I say, well, it's been a learning thing over the past 15, 16, 17 years. I've been working out for a long time. There were things that I was doing in the beginning that I thought were right. And, a couple years later, I found out they were wrong. And you continue to learn. And everyone is on their own journey in that. But I get upset with the people that are just good looking and they want to post those things and they're doing it wrong. And you have like an audience that's watching you. People are liking your video. People are asking you questions in the comments. I'm sure people are sending you DMs asking you for like a workout plan or like, what's your diet like? And you don't know shit and you're not qualified to help those people. And you're not going to help those people. If anything, you're going to make it worse because those people are actually reaching out and they're saying, I want to get in better shape. I think this person might be able to help me. And you are not qualified to help them. So now they follow your plan, they get discouraged. And that sets them back further. And then they don't even want to work out.
Yeah, I agree that, and like I'm sure you've had this too. Like, well, you just said it. Like, I have people. I've been like doing like kind of stuff. I've like done stuff at the gym, and people will come up to me like, "Oh, that's really cool. Like, how do you do that?" And like, I'll literally like show them and like help them like get into the proper position form. Like, oh, like keep your hips down, like all that kind of stuff. Because that's also maybe the trainer in me. Because my big thing is if you're not going to do an exercise right, don't bother doing it at all because it's a waste of time and you're going to get hurt and you're not receiving the full benefits of it. But yeah, I see people that like I hate back squatting. I hate it. Like, it's great to an extent, but people are like, oh, I can back squat like 400 pounds. It's like, that's great. How's your spine doing? Like,
yep.
You don't need that much compressive force on your spine. Like, all my male clients, I tell them, like, you can back squat till the cows come home, but don't come in here asking me to do back squatting. Like, I'm not doing it. I don't encourage it. I'm not doing it with you. And if you want to go, like, I always say, if you want to, like, do light stuff with the bar, sure, go for it. But, like, again, you get those dumbasses that are like, oh, I can back squat 450 pounds. And it's like, okay, so now that your back has gone to shit, what's that doing for you?
Well, most of the time, anyone who's bragging about squatting that much weight probably isn't doing it right. They think they are because they put 4 plates on each side and they're like, oh, I was able to get it up off the bar. And I did a squat and it's like they maybe went a quarter of the way down. And it's like, you can't truly squat that amount of weight. If you're not a professional,
and it's not good for you.
Listen, if you're not a professional bodybuilder, you can't do that. Like,
no, and I don't know why you'd want to. And that's the thing too. That's also why I don't like back squatting in general because you don't need that kind of compressive force on your spine. Like you don't. And you can go look it up too. Like
not unless you're competing. If you're competing, like,
right.
Yeah.
If you're competing, you're like an Olympic athlete, you're a power lifter. Like obviously, yes, because you have the proper training, you have the proper coaching, absolutely. But 99% of the population, you don't need to be trying to like get some crazy back squat PR or feel like you need to back squat every damn day or you always have to do back squat has to be really heavy. Honestly, you want to challenge yourself. Try front squats, okay? Like, come on.
Try just doing 25 body weight squats. Do 4 sets of that.
Oh yeah,
that's enough.
That shit gets me every time.
Yeah, just your body weight. People will struggle with that. I did a thing today because I do legs on Sunday because the gym's like empty. So what I did today, because I'm trying to steer away from, when I squat, I don't go over 315. Like that will be my max. There's no point. I'm going to destroy my knees. I'm going to destroy my back. And even that 315, I might do that once a month. I'm not touching that.
Right.
Other than that, I'll do reps of 225. And I get a good leg workout. There's nothing wrong with it. But you can also get a better leg workout going lighter with more reps with proper form. Now the one, damn it, I forget. It was a professional bodybuilder in the 70s. This guy, but he had a method where your body gets used to doing certain things over and over. So the same.
Yeah, it's the principle of adaptation.
So the same thing goes when you're doing like heavy squats. Like you need to switch it up occasionally if you want your legs to grow, if that's what you're trying to do. If you're trying to build strength, you're trying to build muscle, you've got to switch it up. So it also saves your knees to not go heavy all the time and destroy your joints. But what I did was I took 45-pound plates, put it on the barbell, and I put my feet, I would say, not shoulder width, just a little bit closer, and I angled them out like this, right? So I had my feet closer, and I was going all the way down to get a good stretch on my quads, and I would do 20 reps. And I would say around 13 or 14, like I was breathing heavily, I was sweating, and it was extremely hard. And I did 4 sets of that, and those 4 sets were harder than doing 5 sets of 5 of 315.
Oh yeah, and that's what I have my clients do too. Like I'll call them like endurance days, and they're literally, it's high reps, low weight, and I'll literally give them like 40 reps this up day, and they're like, I thought this was gonna be easy, but I'm really sorry, and this took a lot of effort. I'm like, I know it did, and so I gave it to you. But yeah, there's something to be said, because people always think like with weightlifting you have to go heavy. It's like, no, you don't always have to go heavy.
Yeah.
Like increase your rep count, and I promise you, because there's muscular power, muscular endurance, and you need to train both. Okay.
Oh yeah, and you also need to train. A thing that people forget about all the time is your nervous system. Now,
yes,
you are 100% aware that you're in the gym and you're working out. Your nervous system doesn't know that. So when you're working out, you're tearing up all your muscle fibers, right? Because you want them to build back. You want them to build back.
Yeah, no, weightlifting is controlled muscle degradation. When you tell people that, they like freak out. Like, no, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, but the thing is with it, your nervous system doesn't know that. Your nervous system, all it knows is that you're under some sort of trauma because your body's getting ripped up, right? So you could wait and say, okay, well, my muscles aren't sore anymore, my joints feel good, but I'm not getting the results that I want. And for those people that are like marathon lifters where they go 7 days a week and sometimes even twice a day out of those 7 days a week, you're not giving your nervous system a chance to recover. And it's funny, there was one, I forget, it was a long time ago, a guy had told me that, he was in very good shape, and it was kind of when I first started working out, because I was one of those people that were like, oh, you got to go 7 days a week, no days off, don't be weak. All right, yeah. Right, so this guy had told me, I had a conversation with him, he was in his 40s too, and he was in really good shape. And I asked him, I'm like, how long have you been working out? And he's like, oh, all my life, this and that. And I was like, how many days do you come here? Like, you must have to come here twice a day for this. He goes, no, I'm here.
He's like 3
days a week. And I was like, what do you do that 3 days a week you come here and you look like that? And I'm here 7 days. I'm not even close to you. And he's like, well, honestly, it's a lot.
Recovery.
He's like, well, it's a lot of the stuff that people don't want to do. We get fed the wrong information from the fitness industry and all the pros who are like, no days off, I train all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, it's a lifestyle, blah, 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 all the cliches.
Yeah, have fun getting injured.
Exactly.
And not being able to do that.
What this guy had said to me, he goes, when you're fully recovered, like when your body's ready to handle working out again, when you can wake up in the morning and you could squeeze something with all of your strength. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, I have a scale at home that if I would wake up in the morning, and he goes, I grab this by the sides of the scale and I press with my thumbs as hard as I can. And he goes, if I can't hit 22 pounds of pressure, then my nervous system isn't fully recovered and I don't go to the gym that day. And I was like, that's so interesting. I've never heard like a method like that before, because it's not something you think about. You think, well, my muscles aren't sore anymore, I guess I can go work out. But I've had the mornings where I've woken up and like I can't grab things as hard. And I'm like, why is this? Like, why am I not, maybe I'm not recovered, right, tired, or I don't know what it is. But that is a direct result of your nervous system not being recovered, which is what a lot of people don't even think about.
Right. Yeah, and that's 100% true too, and that's definitely a component that is oftentimes skipped. And that's the other thing too that's also skipped is recovery is just as important as any heavy day, as any high intensity day. Recovery is so, like, again, it's like you said, no days off, like always on the grind.
Yep.
And it's just like, actually, no, recovery is just as important, because if you're hurt or you're not fully prepared, your body isn't fully ready to go, that's a great way to get injured. And then you're really set back. And that's what I tell my kids all the time when they're getting, well, not my, I do not have any crotch goblins personally, but like kids I coach. Because like when they're hurt or they're sick, I'm like, get away from me. Like, go home, see you in a week. I'm like, what? I'm like, no, I'd rather take the time now to heal and get better. And then, because you're going to be really upset if you keep running and running and running. And then by the, mid-season, you're completely done because you've like ran yourself a terrible injury now. And you're going to be more upset when you have to miss the rest of the season. So take the week now so you don't have to miss 2 months later. So, and yeah, that's true. Because like, I'm sure you've experienced it too. It's like, hey, you wake up and you feel good, but then you start working out and it's like, you're not sore, but you can just tell your body it's fatigued.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah.
And see, coming from people like me and you, that's such boring information, and we're just downers, and we don't, we just don't want to see anyone succeed because, someone like The Rock, he doesn't take any days off. So I got to follow his plan in order to get like him, which brings me to my next point.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this. The celebrity influence on life in general is so disgusting. Now I'm going to just talk about it in the fitness aspect. All right. So now, and I know, there's absolutely no way if you were up for, let's say, 21 hours and you took a 2-hour nap, and then you had to wake up and squat 415. Like, could you do that?
No, I wouldn't even recommend that you do that. I don't know any like actual professional that'd be like, that sounds like a great idea. You ever slept in 21 hours? Yeah. Go drive a car really quick too. Go kill some kids.
But The Rock does it. The Rock does it every day. He takes no days off. He shoots movies and TV shows 22 hours a day, and then he sleeps for maybe an hour. He also has a child and a wife. And
he's got 2 kids.
Oh, he's got 2 kids. I didn't even know that. I thought he only had 1.
Yeah, he's got an older daughter.
Oh, okay. Well,
I think she's like 16, maybe she's 20. I don't know, but she's younger than me, but like not that much younger. But I don't want to say she's a teenager, but he's got the baby too, or something like that, right?
But the thing is, what I'm saying is the way he portrays everything. Listen, I know the guy is a hard worker. Because he was an ex-football player, ex-wrestler. He could have just fallen into an obscurity and like been absolutely nothing. But he pushed himself and he learned how to act, well, sort of. That's very loose. Yeah. He put it this way. I was saying this the other day. It's funny how there's different tiers of actors, right? So like you have your top tier actors, right? You don't know.
Denzel.
Oh, absolutely, he's up there. But what I'm saying is, you don't know who Leonardo DiCaprio is. You know who he is, like, by visual, but you don't know who he is as a person. Like, what is he like? How does he talk? What are his opinions? Like, you really don't know too much about him, but you know every one of his characters that he's played. Because he is that good at what he does that he's able to suspend who he is as a person and make you believe that he's this other person. Right?
Right, or Daniel Day-Lewis. Oh, my other favorite.
Yeah, you have Leonardo DiCaprio, Daniel Day-Lewis, Denzel Washington. To a degree, Will Smith. He is very good acting-wise. Like, he's able to not be Will Smith in a movie. He could be another person. But the thing is with The Rock is, like, he's The Rock in every movie. I don't care. Call him whatever name you want in whatever movie. He could be Jeff, Brad, Tony. I don't give a shit what it is. He's The Rock in every movie. He's just a big-ass dude that's going to fight someone. If he really wanted, and it's funny because I'm talking from a place of, like, I'm sitting in my apartment. I'm not fucking rich and famous at all. And here I'm just bashing him. But, like, if you really wanted to impress me with your acting skills, lose, like, 100 pounds and all your muscle. Yeah. And play, like, a cancer patient in a movie. And then
Yeah, go full Christian Bale.
Yeah, I'll be like, holy shit, this guy is unbelievable to do that. 50 Cent actually did that, and nobody paid attention to it.
Yeah, he did. Fuck, he did. Was he playing someone with AIDS or something like that? What was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like a high school football star that got AIDS, and then like just he lost all the weight for that, like, which is insane, and it got absolutely no recognition, like. But it is what it is. That's a whole different topic. Now, The Rock with his fitness stuff, like, yeah, he is in great shape. I mean, it's undeniable. Like, the guy's an animal. He's a beast, right? But people look at that and they get the wrong picture of what fitness is, because you have him saying like, okay, I'm on set, 17 hours a day, and then I come home and I got to take care of my daughter, and then I have to do this and business and meetings and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, bro, when do you sleep? When do you recover? How are you able to continue to get up at 3 a.m. every day? And he's very open with like his schedule, what he does. You get up at 3 a.m, you do your half hour on the Stairmaster before the sun rises, and then you eat, and then you go 2 hours of lifting weights, and you do that every single day. So now you don't recover, you don't get sleep. Why are you putting this out there for people like that? Because there are people that are going to be obsessed, and they're going to follow every single thing he does.
Right. That the other thing too that we're ignoring is like, hey, he actually can hire a personal chef to cook the right food for him and make sure he is actually replenishing all the vitamins, minerals, nutrients, and whatnot that he needs, that he's losing. So there's that. He also can afford 24/7 childcare.
Yeah.
He can also afford an assistant to handle all of his appointments and scheduling and do everything that he doesn't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the other thing too, when people are like, oh, it's so easy, just do what I do. It's like, ooh, time out.
Yeah.
Time out. Pause. Yeah, so most of us have 9-to-5 jobs and then have other extracurriculars or have kids or whatever. And then on top of that, you want me to like cook, clean, and then go to bed on time. It's like something's got to give. That's just not majority of people's reality either. And it's like, I can do it, you can do it. Okay, well, let's look at all the help and assistance that you have. I'm not saying that that's bad or anything. Like, because if I could afford a personal chef, fuck yeah, I would have one. I hate cooking and cleaning. But like, that's just not what I want to spend my money on. Like, but again, like I said, if I could afford a personal chef, I best believe I would have one, and my life would be so much easier as far as cooking goes. But again, like 98% of the population can't afford that, or they could, but then it's like, okay, well, cool, you're not going to go on any vacations or whatever. But it's just like how much they don't seem to also account in the assistance and help that they get. And there's nothing wrong with that extra help, but don't act like you're doing it all yourself when you're clearly not.
Yeah, my problem with it is don't broadcast the message to people that are like, you can do this too. Like, you could be just like me. You got to do it exactly like me, because it's wrong, it's misleading, and it's unrealistic for most people. Like you just said, like me and you aren't going to hire a personal chef. You don't have the money for that. I mean, you could probably find a way to do it, but you would go broke trying to maintain that, So pretty much.
Well, that'd be all I would have. Yeah. So it's like, there's other things I want to do.
Now, the other thing about this too, I mean, I've tried to see anything else that he advertises or he markets or sells, but as a fitness guy, tequila, that was the route he wanted to go.
Really?
That's
he signed on to tequila?
Yeah, that's like his thing. He has a tequila that, if you go on his Instagram, I mean, he's always pouring himself a glass every night. So on top of the lack of sleep, the demanding, grueling work schedule, and working out all the time, he's drinking every night. So.
No, so that's what I feel like he probably pours it and then pours it down the sink. If I'm being completely honest, he might pour the glass and like take a sip, and then once the camera's off, it's down the sink. Like, okay, here's the thing. You know this too. If you're really serious about like getting fit, as they speak, no alcohol, no beer, no wine, no vodka, no tea, nothing. You are completely dried out. Like, no.
You can't.
Not at all. And that's why I tell my clients. What do you say?
No, when you're on if you're on a strict like fitness routine, like you cannot drink. That will hurt you so much that'll dehydrate you.
Right. Like, what do you doing? That's what I tell my clients too, especially when they're first trying to lose those first couple pounds. I'm like, go alcoholics for a month, and then like 10 pounds will fall off like that. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, now you can, if you want to be here on the weekend or on Friday night, like I'm fine with that. We can build it back in, but you don't if you're really that serious, that's gonna be like the main no for right now until we're where you want to be, and then you can add it in as necessary. But that's really weird that he does that, and then he's also promoting an alcohol.
Yeah, I never understood that. I mean, I'm not one for all the sports personalities and things like that, like even bodybuilders, like when they advertise like supplements, because supplements really don't.
Fuck supplements.
Yeah, they don't do anything. I mean, even protein powder, it's not really doing anything. It's just replacing like calories and protein if you can't get it at the time. Like anyone I've done meal plans for, anything like that, I've always been like, you got to get everything from food. Like if you're supplementing everything outside of vitamins, like daily vitamins are one thing, because I do take I'll take like vitamin A, D, vitamin E. Just I have an assortment that I take, but nothing that's not regular. You know, that you wouldn't get from food.
Right.
I'm just making sure that I get those things. But like
Right.
I would have thought he would have went the route of like, I don't know, a creatine or something like that, or like what everybody else does, like some sort of pre-workout, like called it.
Yeah, pre-workout. Oh my god. Okay, yeah. So really quick, guys, and I'm sure you've said this on other episodes. BCAAs, pre-workout, it's all bullshit. Do not waste your money on that stuff. And I do protein powder, but I do like plant-based, and I use it because I use it as like a meal replacement kind of thing. Like, you know, especially because my lifestyle is very go. It's like, okay, I'm full enough. Like, this is kind of a good little thing to kind of hold me over until I can get some real food. But, and also it's like plant-based. I don't do stupid whey or whatever nonsense. But a lot of like, and then I also start, like, my husband used to work at GNC. Like, they'll make women's supplements, and all they do is just put the same shit in a pink box. Okay? Like, it's the dumbest shit. But, you don't need BCAAs. And here's the thing about BCAAs, like, you have to have the other amino acids for your body to even absorb those. So they're just kind of floating around in your body, and you're just having really expensive urine, essentially.
I there's so many all the time.
Yeah. It's just, you're just paying for really high priced urine, because it's like, okay, cool, yeah, branched chain amino acid. Oh, it's like, yeah, so in order to absorb them, you need the other 9. This is only 3, but your body won't absorb these 3 without the other 9 present. So you're not really doing anything. Right. So don't feel like, and you know, because you always see people plugging bullshit like, hey, try my new pre-workout. And it's like, no, you don't need pre-workout. You don't need a bunch of bullshit. Just, it's really simple. I feel like we've made diet. I hate the word diet because it's such a negative word. It has such a negative connotation. As I tell my clients too, like, it's not a diet. It's just making smarter choices. Like, yeah, I can have a Butterfinger, or I can have an apple. Probably better to have the apple. It's like, yeah, I can have a pizza, or I can make my own turkey wrap. Wonder which one's the better decision. And just like stopping and pausing and like asking yourself, like, yeah, I want that. And that doesn't mean I can't have it ever, but just, you know, the smarter decision for me right now is to have a turkey sandwich, you know, with the lettuce wrap or whatever. But it's just, I hate that kind of stuff.
You know, it was one of the most interesting pre-workouts I've ever seen someone take.
What?
It was not something that...
Coke.
No. I have seen that, but... no, but one of the most interesting ones I've ever seen was there was this one dude a long ass time ago. I used to go to LA Fitness, and every day I would see him in there because he'd get in there after work. And I mean, he was in something with construction. I mean, he'd come in just like filthy, right? And I mean, he would get changed, and this dude was in really great shape, like phenomenal. And I would talk to him from time to time to be like, you know, what do you do? What do you eat? Things like that. I was still young at the time. I didn't know anything about it. And he would come in with, it was like 3 or 4 scoops of like coffee grinds, right? He would take the coffee grinds.
Enema? Coffee enema?
No, oh no. That's ridiculous. I've never heard of that.
You never heard of the coffee enema?
No, but now I have.
You're welcome.
Why don't you explain that?
Okay, so I personally have never done it. I'm not really into the whole sticking stuff up my ass thing, but if that's something that works for you. So I'm sure you've heard of the show My Strange Addiction.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I kind of went down the My Strange Addiction rabbit hole a while ago, and there was a couple that was addicted to coffee enemas, and they literally would be like laying on their bathroom floor together, like reading, and like they had kids and stuff too. Like it can be they're like, it can be difficult with the kids because like it can take like an hour, and then you have to wait for the draining and all that kind of stuff. And they're like, oh, it's very invigorating, and you know, I feel like I'm ready to go. I feel it's like it recharges my batteries. So, yeah,
boy.
the coffee enema.
I'm gonna be looking some things up about that.
Yeah,
That's
you're
ridiculous. Well, anyway, this guy was not doing a coffee enema, but
welcome. Okay, well,
he
that's how
was
we're
he had
going.
the coffee grounds like in a little plastic bag, and he used to take a can of Coke, and he had like a shaker or whatever. He would pour the can of Coke in the shaker. He would put the coffee in it, and like he would just shake it, and then chug the whole thing and go out and do his workout. Like I couldn't believe it. He would look at me and he would go, "Fuck all pre-workouts. You don't need any of that shit." He goes, "You get this right here. It's so cheap." I was like, "Wow, man."
You don't need that either. Wait,
Yeah.
you time out. You mix like caffeine and sugar with more caffeine.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh God. He
But
probably
you know
had a
what,
heart
though?
attack.
But this is the thing. That guy was being for real.
I'm sure he
I
was.
appreciate and I respect that guy so much more because he had his shit right there. Someone like The Rock, all right, he's 48 years old. Your body's not producing the testosterone that you did when you were 28. So we're talking a 20-year difference here, right? The amount of muscle that dude has is insane. I know he has a large frame. I know he does have good genetics. But at the same time, at 48 years old, to look the way he does and to lift the amount of weight that he lifts, you do have some assistance. Stop lying to people. That's what bothers me. And it's not that he's shooting up. He may have like a testosterone replacement therapy, which is fine. But put that out there to people. You're lying to people saying you could get like me. We don't have the personal chefs. We don't have all the things that we need, all the money that we need. And we also don't have the access to testosterone like that to look the way you do. So my problem is just with that being unrealistic and people using him as kind of like this monument to fitness. And it's like, wow, look at him and what he does. Like, he has a lot of help. It's not just him alone. And he's not the only one. There's plenty of others that are out there that the exact same way. I mean, we let too much of what we see on like a screen. Like, all right, if you're watching TV and some ripped dude comes on or some really hot girl and they're in great shape and you're like, wow, I really should look like that. No, you need to realize that these people do not walk around like that daily because you can't. Even when you open up like I don't know, like a fitness magazine, or you go on like a bodybuilding.com page and you see the athletes, like the models that are in the pictures that they have on the page, like you realize that probably for 2 months they dieted specifically for that shoot, and then they got there, and the lighting is all done, and they're painted, and they're
pro tan.
Yeah, everything is done perfect. And not only that, the images are then messed with in Photoshop to make them look absolutely perfect. So then when people like me and you look at that and we're like, oh, this is totally unobtainable. How can I get like this? I want to be perfect like this person. And it's like, no, you cannot walk around like that. Now, there are people that do, and they're just genetic freaks. That they hit the genetic lottery, they got lucky, and they're just able to they can eat a whole pizza and have a six-pack abs, and it makes no sense scientifically, and it is what it is, you know. But you can't I guess my thing is you can't compare yourself to them or use them as like role models in a way, you know.
No, and someone that has all that extra help, because again, majority of people don't. So yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I even have to like slow my roll on social media every now and then too, because it's just like, it's just, especially, unfortunately, I feel like women are just so targeted with like, this is how you need to. I know that men are targeted too, like if you're not muscular, like you're a piece of shit kind of thing. And like I know there's like men body shaming as well, but I feel like with women and what it's been for decades, it's like women are so targeted. Like you need to have a huge ass and a tiny waist and big old tits, and it's like, no, you don't need to have any of that. Are you comfortable in your own skin? That's what's important, and that's what matters, is how do you feel in your own body? Like, okay, no, you don't look like her and she doesn't look like you, but that's what makes you both, I would say, like, beautiful. But it's like, that's what's great about diversity, is that not everybody is the same, and we all don't look the same. Our bodies all don't look the same, but women are so overly targeted for stupid gimmicks and like make your butt bigger, or keep your tits from sagging, or just whatever nonsense. And it's like, hey, so yeah, you lose collagen over time. So sagging and wrinkles is actually pretty fucking normal. And that's what your body's supposed to do. Okay? So just because you see someone that's twice your age without any crow's feet, it's called Botox and filler.
Get some money together. That's all you need.
Right. You're not ugly. You're just poor.
What's one of your like biggest fitness myths that you just can't stand?
Oh, the typical girl one. And like, I love women. I'm all for like supporting other women, but like, this is the one thing that annoys me is I don't want to get big and bulky. Okay, first of all, bitch, let me teach you some science really quick. So biologically, that's not possible for you to get bulky. I definitely push your body to the limit, but those women that you see that are the size of men, they're on some sort of hormone therapy. I was like, there's biologically, it is not in, because I usually tell to like my clients that are like, not athletes and are just getting into working out, because they're like, I want to be 10, but I don't want to be bulky. And I'm like, shut the fuck up before I shove this 5-pound dumbbell down your throat. But I tell them like, okay, so here's the thing, biologically speaking, also what makes us different from men is we don't make nearly as much testosterone as men. That's how men build muscle and can get so ripped and shredded much quicker than we can and be bigger than we can because of the testosterone that they make. We, as women, produce way more estrogen because we're biologically women. And this is not an attack on anybody that's trans or whatever. This is just if you're, like male and identifies male and female identifies female, whatever. Speaking just in those terms, biologically and physically, you will not ever look like that unless you're doing hormone therapy. That's just what it is. And I tell them that. They're like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, unless you wanted to go get some testosterone, yeah, you can look like that, but it won't happen. And it's like, if anything, you'll just get leaner. Like, that's pretty much like it. You can put on like a couple pounds, like you can put on pounds of muscle. I know plenty of women that have, but again, you're not going to be like Helga in the magazine that you see that's the size of Arnold Schwarzenegger, because Helga's taking freaking roids and testosterone.
And eating everything.
So that's fine. Right. So that's probably my biggest thing too. That's like my biggest thing. It's just, and then all the stupid detox bullshit things. And it's like, So here's the thing.
There's no such.
No, there's not. And honestly, if you think you're going to start some cleanse, if your kidneys and liver weren't working, you would know. Okay? You would know, because you would have somebody be in renal failure, you'd have like liver disease or cirrhosis. Something would be going amiss in your body for you to like not be naturally detoxing. But all these like fit tea, booty tea, or tummy tea, most of them actually have laxatives in them and just make you shit your brains out, ladies. So just be aware of that.
Well, put it like this. I want to flush all these chemicals out of my body by putting new chemicals into my body.
Go sweat. You want to get chemicals out of your body? Go break a sweat. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what you can do. But yeah, the stupid detox and cleansing thing. So yeah, just FYI guys, there's no such thing as a cleanse. And there are constantly studies and longitudinal studies coming out, saying like the cleanse or the detox is just a media fad and a market fad. And like I always tell people, like my friends, like, anything about a juice cleanse, I'm like, you're wasting your money and you're just gonna be really tired because you're gonna be hungry all the time. Like don't do it. If you want to drink lemon juice and cayenne pepper in the morning, go for it. But that's not anything to subsist on. That's not actually gonna do anything for you. But go for it.
What about the myth of the apple cider vinegar shot in the morning?
Who the fuck? I heard that. There's so many just ridiculous things. It's like unfortunately, in the fitness world, because it's such a broad term, we've made it super complicated. It's like, if you want to lose weight, decrease your caloric intake and increase your activity. It's really that simple.
Yep.
Like there's no other formula. It's just, count your calories. Are you under 2,000 calories? And have you increased your activity level a little bit? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're going to lose weight. Oh, not so consistency. It's not going to happen overnight. If you can do that for like 2 months, you'll lose weight. That's really what it is. There's no like special diet or something. I mean, some guy did a study where he's like, I only ate 5 Twinkies every day and I lost like 30 pounds. And it's like, let's see, the common denominator there was he only had like 600 calories a day.
Yeah.
So, you can eat Twinkies and still lose weight. Not saying that you should eat Twinkies, but it's just
the idea
decrease your caloric intake. Right. Decrease your caloric intake, increase your caloric output. That's it. Don't make it harder than it has to be. And there's always little gimmicks and shit.
The shakes and the fucking every single one of those companies, it drives me insane. I get all those emails from like Beachbody and this and that, and it's like, you should sell our products, and it's like, why would I sell your shit? I don't even believe in it. I wouldn't tell someone.
Right, or Shakeology or whatever bullshit.
It's so stupid. And the worst part, the people that do it, right? Because you will, essentially you will lose weight on those things because you are decreasing your caloric intake. And
right, but that's what it is at the end of the day.
But see, the thing is, you can't tell a person that because they'll be like, no, it's totally the shakes. It's 100% the shakes. You got to sign up for this. I have a shake for breakfast, and then I have one for lunch, and I have one for dinner, and then I go to bed.
Like, yeah, anyone that has a liquid diet is going to lose weight really quickly.
Yeah, of course. It's
yeah, that's great. Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
There's so many. They have what's the word? They have hoarded out the fitness industry so much.
I know. It's terrible.
All the ways that they could possibly make money off of it. Take this supplement, take that. This one takes this, and if you want to get like this, then you got to buy this. And it's like, no, you don't, man. If you really want to get in shape, just like you said, cut your caloric intake, increase your output, and just take care of yourself.
And eat real food.
Sleep.
Eat real food. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Eat real food.
It's not
eat real fucking food. And like I tell it to my clients too, because I'll see them like in the morning, like, oh, I had a waffle and some yogurt, and I'm like, okay, I want to see. I was like, hey, let's get a little more protein in there, especially in the morning. Or I have some clients that don't even eat. By the way, breakfast is not the most important meal of the day. Eat when you're fucking hungry.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I have clients asking about that too all the time. Like, I work out on an empty stomach, but I'm up at 4 in the morning. But I know for some clients that doesn't work for them. If you need to have like a snack an hour and a half, 2 hours before, do it. Do what works for you. Because no, we're not all the same, and that's okay. But find what works for your body and do that. And it's just you trying to like, you have to follow my plan specifically. It's like, well, actually, my biological and my like molecular makeup doesn't really suit that pattern or your plan. So what should I do now? So eat when you're hungry. If you're not a breakfast person, don't force yourself to eat breakfast.
Yeah, you don't.
Like that's no, you don't. If that's how you normally function and you don't need to eat till 12 o'clock, then do it.
Yeah.
Your body will let you know if it needs something or if it's suffering. Like your body will tell you, like, hey, you need a little help here.
Exactly.
You know, it's just kind of like being in tune with yourself. And like I tell, like they're like, oh, like it's like again the supplement thing. I'm like, just eat real food. Because if you eat enough food, then yeah, obviously we all could use a little extra vitamins here and there, and we all like our, you know, our little treats and whatnot. But it's so simple, and they've made it so complicated. It's just eat real food and decrease your calories. Because I've messed around with all these fad diets. I'm sure you have too, just to like try them. And it's like the tired and true way is to watch how much you eat.
Exactly.
And it's sustainable. Because if you're eating the right stuff, you won't feel hungry.
Wait a minute, are you telling me that keto is not sustainable? Oh, it's the worst diet of all time.
It is. And so I was actually doing some research on it before we came on here. So it used to be a medically prescribed diet, and now since like for like kids with seizures and whatnot, but now with the, you know, invention of anti-epileptic medicine, it's still seldom, it's not even really used that much in the medical setting. But it's just that diet, it's super dangerous for you. There haven't been any longitudinal studies like, yeah, you'll lose weight really fast, but you're just losing water weight. Mm-hmm. So the minute you eat like any sort of carbohydrate, you're just going to gain it all back. And I had a friend who did it, and then she got all eating disordery on it, and I was like, fuck.
But carbs,
it's dangerous.
They're so bad for us.
No, sugar is bad for you. That's a thing too. Carbs and fats actually are really good for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Carbs and fats are really good for you, as long as it's like, you know, actual fat, not like some random like, you know, fake butter fat.
Avocados,
but like
olive oil, things like that.
Right. Yeah. Actual like even fat from animals is great. Like you don't need to get like fat-free milk. I mean, personally, I say stay away from milk altogether. Like you don't need milk.
I enjoy milk a lot though.
If you like it, then drink it. But
who
like,
doesn't love a nice chocolate milk from time to time?
Every now and then. I will give you that one.
Yeah.
But it's just like so stay away from keto. It's it's the new Atkins diet essentially. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so many people are like, I just have to eat cheese and bacon and I'll lose weight. It's like, it's not how that works. It's a fad diet, it's a crash diet, it's not sustainable. If you look it up, there have been no longitudinal studies on it. Mm-hmm. Go on Google Scholar and just type in keto diet and just read through some of those articles if you don't believe me. But do your own research first, and you don't need to do any special dieting.
Yeah.
Promise.
I will say this: I don't support like those special diets like that, especially stuff like keto. But there are some people that it does work for. Like people enjoy
Right,
that.
absolutely.
But the thing about those people are like it happens to work with their body and their genetics, and they enjoy it because they feel good, which is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But that's finding like your own style and like finding what works for you, because ultimately that's what fitness is. Like you said, we're all built differently. Even though we're all human beings, we're all built differently. So your body's going to react differently to all sorts of different things. You know, what works for me is not going to work for you and vice versa. You know, there may be
Right.
some aspects, some small things. Oh, I do this. Oh, let me give that a shot. Wow, that was awesome. It worked. Or, you know, oh, I do this. Let me try it. You know, it didn't work out for me. It just, I didn't feel good. Like you had mentioned that you work out on an empty stomach because that works for you. Now that night
Right.
might not be the same thing for everyone. I know for myself, I'm one of these people that like I need a full ass meal like 15 minutes before I go work out. I need a full stomach.
Sure. Same with my husband.
But
yeah.
that's what works for me. That's what I figured out after trial and error for such a long time. I know what foods I need. I know when I need to eat it and then go to the gym. And that's what people have to do. So don't think that you could just hop on the train and say, oh, well, I'm doing keto now and I eat 6 pounds of cream cheese a day. But I'm super healthy.
Oh, that's so true, though. But yeah, so it's carbs not the enemy, sugar is the enemy. So stay away from sugar. And that's the time I plan to like check to see if there's any added sugar. So if there's added sugar, throw it out.
Yeah.
Throw it out. You don't need it. No added sugar. The only sugar you should get is from like actual sugar sources like fruit, you know, like actual real sugar. Like that's fine, go for it. But yeah, so you don't need to do any of the stupid crash dieting bullshit. Don't let social media trick you into thinking you need detox tea or whatever nonsense they're peddling. It's just there's so much misinformation. It's just such a predatory like industry, unfortunately. It's predatory. That's really the only way to describe it. It's become super predatory.
Yeah. And just to sum everything up, I think it's best said, just be the best version of you. Don't try to be the Rock. Don't try to be somebody you see on TV or anything. And even another guy or girl that you see in the gym. Just be the best version of you. Do what makes you feel good. If you feel good doing the keto diet, all about it. Whatever. If you feel good not eating at all, do what you want. If that's what makes you feel good. But don't model yourself after other people and what everybody else is doing, especially with all the fitness stuff, because they have bled the fitness industry dry with all the angles they can make money off of it with.
Yeah, and then also really quick too, like if you're really that interested in like you really want to hone in your diet, go see an allergist and take one of those like food sensitivity things and find out, because maybe you're sensitive to dairy, maybe you're sensitive to wheat, and then if you cut out those things that you're sensitive to, that will help a lot. But like if you're really that serious about your diet and you really want to like get everything on track, that would be my best advice: is go get some allergy testing and see if you have any food sensitivities or allergies, and then cut those foods out. So that's like, you know, that, what is it, Whole30 or 21-day fix or whatever, where like you cut stuff out and then add it back in. And I had friends that are like, oh yeah, I added this back in and then I felt really like shitty, so then I took it back out and then I started feeling good again. So it's like, yeah, experiment with that. Like take certain food groups out and see how you're feeling. Like that's fine. And it's like, okay, I can eat X, Y, and Z, but you know, A makes me feel really bad, but B makes me feel really good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's my 2 cents.
Everybody, I hope you guys took away something from this episode, whether it be us laughing at people on the keto diet or cleanses or making fun of The Rock, or you actually got some information here on fitness and dieting. But either way, thanks for watching. Follow TruExact Radio on Instagram, subscribe on YouTube, and check out the Just Animals podcast.
Yep,
And
check this out. Oh, wait.
Yes.
Is there like an email or anything, or like if you have any questions or comments, like write them on the Instagram, or like can anyone like email us?
If you have questions for either one of us, you can email trueexactradio@gmail.com, or you can comment beneath the video, and we'll try to get back to you as soon as we can.
Or if you want to say something really mean, I will read it on the episode, like mean tweets. So
say mean things.
I will.
So we can call people out on the show.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening, guys.
All right. Bye-bye.